Hey everybody, good afternoon. This is Tanya Gustafson, your nutritionist and fitness coach with Fit Nutrition, coming to you live. I'm going to start doing podcasts weekly here in our group. In 8 weeks is all it takes. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching today. And if there's some information that you find useful today, I invite you to invite someone to the group and so that they might benefit as well too. So also I'm just checking to make sure that we are streaming live and it looks like we are good. So I did master the tech, which is a feat in and of itself. All right, so today's topic, and first, let me introduce myself a little bit for those who are new to our group, who don't really know who I am, but you're just curious about what we do because you've seen a lot of stuff going on. So as I said, my name is Tanya Gustafson. I'm a nutritionist and fitness coach here in Kelowna, BC, Canada. So welcome wherever you're tuning in and watching from. I know we have people in our group from all over the world, literally. I've been in this industry since 1986, in the health and fitness industry. I've been living this PFC lifestyle that you see us talking about in the group here a lot, ad nauseum, like forever, for about the last 13 years, loving it, loving the results that I get in my body, in my energy, and how I feel, and just loving the results that I'm seeing with my clients that I share with, and all of you in the group here. So that's just a little snapshot of me. I would love to hear about you. Where are you watching from? Did you get to watch me live? Are you watching on the replay? Where are you tuning in from? And a little bit about yourself. That'd be great. So today we're going to talk about that time change that just happened. Sleep is super important. And not many people realize it, but sleep can affect a lot of other things that happen in our day and with our health. Right. So, I mean, we all know that if we don't get a good night's sleep, we're just not feeling our best the next morning. We don't function as well. Things are slower. We just don't feel so great. But sometimes we don't really know why we're not getting that good sleep. Sometimes things like the time change will knock us back. Even though it's just an hour, it can really upset that delicate balance, especially for those who don't have really good established routines with their sleep. So number one, a routine is really good for your body, and your body loves routine. So when we're all over the map, it makes it much more difficult to get a good sleep. So sleep, like I said, can affect a lot of things. And I'm just going to just give me a second here. I wanted to share my screen with you and just bring up a little graphic here that I have that can better illustrate. So there's 6 components to our health that are really super important. And we like to talk about the spinning plates. If you've ever seen the guy at the circus and he gets those plates up, it's a beautiful thing. They're all going, they're all balanced up there. And each one is on their own stick doing their own thing. If one starts to wobble a little bit, he's got to get under that, get it back going in that right speed and that right balance to keep everything afloat, right? So as you can see from these things, so nutrition, exercise, water, sleep, stress, and supplements, the 6 plates or the 6 pillars, however you want to refer to it, that keep our body moving and functioning well, they all work together. Now, sleep has an impact over all of those things. So I just wanted to give you that visual, because sleep may be, especially after the time change, your plate that's not spinning, right? So if something's not working well for you, thinking about all of those different areas and what do you need to adjust to keep your plate spinning back up again, to keep it a beautiful show, because it's not like you have to, that something didn't work necessarily with what you're doing here with your PFCs and everything. But sometimes it's just finding that one plate that's wobbling, or that one plate that's slipping off the pole, and we get that back up spinning and everything else falls into place and we're back on track again. So just bear that in mind. So today we're going to talk about the sleep and some little tips that you can do to keep your circadian rhythm going, to get a good restful sleep. So, all right. So I want you, if you're watching, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching on the replay, drop in the comments there, if you've ever had what you thought was, should have been a great night's sleep, maybe 6 to 8 hours of sleep. And you think, oh my gosh, but why do I feel so exhausted? You've slept all this time, but you woke up and you're still feeling exhausted. Or maybe you laid down for a nap and you woke up and you thought, oh, that was a bad idea. I feel like I got hit by a truck. I really shouldn't have laid down at all. I felt better before. And so if that's you, drop a 1 if you had that good night's sleep, or you thought it was a good night's sleep and you're still exhausted, or 2 if you've had that nap and just woken up and felt like, you shouldn't have even wasted the time, or 3 if you've done them all. Okay. So 1 for the not so great night's sleep, 2 for the nap that shouldn't have happened, and 3 if you did both of them. All right. And so the same thing applies to both of these things. So there's a science to our sleep, right? There's a little rhythm to the way our sleep goes, and it's called your circadian rhythm, actually. And so have you ever noticed sometimes that you fall asleep and the light, something will just wake you up really, really quickly. You won't, it won't take much and you'll just be awake. Or other times you'll be like dead asleep, we call it, you're sleeping like a log and nothing wakes you up. Or your child, right? Sometimes they'll be like so out of it and nothing will wake them up. But other times the slightest little noise or the little move and they're like, ooh, they're wide awake. That can have to do with where in your sleep cycle you are at that moment. Okay, which also has to do with how you feel when you wake up. So if you are in that really deep, not much, it takes a lot to wake you up, you're going to feel that really brain foggy, super exhausted, tired, got hit by a truck sort of a feeling, if that's where you got woken up and then have to go and start your day or have to, get up and get moving again. Whereas if you get woken up at that point where just the slightest little noise will flutter the eyelids and you're awake, you feel much more refreshed and rested, and that's because your body is ready to wake up at that point. So I've got another graphic here I'm going to share with you. Just hang on one second. Alrighty. Okay. So a typical night's sleep. So these are your sleep cycles. And so I just picked this up, really super simple little sleep cycle. So typically, each one of these U's that comes up and down like this is going to be about 90 minutes. All right. So you're going to start here where it says awake. You're going to go down. You're going to get into that REM sleep, the light sleep. Then you're going to go way down into that deep sleep. And then as the 90 minutes comes to a close, you're going to be coming back up into REM, continue in and back down into the deep sleep. So it's a cycle of a bit of light sleep, heavy sleep at the bottom, coming sort of almost out of it, but not quite. You're still sleeping and back down to the bottom. And so you'll notice that they're not all exactly uniform as well, too, because as the night goes on, they're going to get a little bit shorter and a little bit shorter as you get closer to morning in preparation for you to wake up. Okay, so that's the optimal way it goes. Now, what happens is if you are setting up your sleep so that when your alarm goes off, look underneath number 4 here, say you're at the bottom in this dark area at number 4 and your alarm goes off. That's where you were in such that deep sleep. And now you have to get up and drag yourself out of bed. Whereas if your alarm went off, or maybe you don't even need an alarm, I don't even use an alarm. When you're in this upswing here at the top, you probably won't even need an alarm, or if the alarm goes off, you're just going to barely touch it. You won't even have to hit snooze. You'll be up and feeling refreshed and ready to go for the day. Okay, so does that make sense? Because as we're down here in this deep sleep, and it takes a lot to wake us up, feels like you got hit by a truck, your body wasn't ready. It wasn't naturally coming out of the sleep cycle. Whereas as you come up the hill, so to speak, up the hill, lighter sleep, you're at the top, you're ready to wake up. So this has to do with your naps as well too. So I'm going to stop sharing because we talked about the naps, right? So think about your naps. If your whole sleep cycle from top to REM to light sleep to heavy sleep to back up to light to REM is 90 minutes, you don't want to have a 45 or an hour nap because you're going to be in that low bottom zone and it's not going to feel like it's not going to feel like you were rested at all when you wake up. So thinking about having like a quick little power nap of 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, maybe max, or having the whole hour and a half so that you can have a full sleep cycle and wake up feeling rested. So, and then people often ask, how many hours of sleep do I need a night? Well, that's a little bit personal. The experts say anywhere between 7 to 9 hours. Take a look at what you can do. So I would do this on a weekend or when you have a bit of a holiday. Go to sleep at the same time every night and don't set an alarm for the morning. Okay. And see when you get up, take an average of the amount of hours that you, like if you woke up and you felt rested, how many hours was that? Next night, same thing. How many hours was that? And that's going to be your sleep number. I function really, really well and feel really great in about 6.5 hours of sleep. So my sleep cycles might be a little bit shorter than my husband's. He needs about an 8-9 hour sleep and then he feels at his best. So everyone's just a little bit different. So yes, it's good to get, as much sleep as possible, but you're going to want to do it within those realms to keep your circadian rhythm so that you wake feeling rested, that you're going to get enough quality sleep so that you can continue on with your day. Because if we're not sleeping, so if we go back to those spinning plates here, let me just do that for a second here. If we go back to those spinning plates, whoops, hang on one second here. As I said, I am not the techie. So here we go. Oh, there it is. All right, so if we go back to here and take a look at our spinning plates, when your sleep is off, sleep over here, it usually will increase your stress because you're grumpy, you're agitated, you're not feeling your best, so you're a little bit short with people, you don't have the full concentration and focus that you might at your job, or you might not have the patience with your kids or your family or whatever it happens to be. So then your stress level increases. So when your stress level increases, your cortisol increases. So when we eat food and your cortisol is increased, it causes your body to store more fat. And also with a lack of sleep, if you're not sleeping enough or not getting enough quality sleep, the food that you're putting in, all the nutrients, maybe supplements over here, maybe things like that, then your body is not able to metabolize the food properly. So now we have, and then when we're doing exercise, we're trying to make sure that, okay, well, I better get my workout in. I'm still trying to do that. You're taxing your body, and it's not only sleep deprived, it's now stressed, and it's not absorbing the right nutrients. And then you're trying to put demands on it with exercise as well too. So then that increases the internal stress yet again, and increases your body's inflammation. So all of these things work together, and you want to make sure that you're getting the right kind of sleep. So when we do sleep and we're well rested, our food that we put in can be metabolized better. We are able to manage the external stress that comes at us, because we can't do anything about what comes at us, but we certainly can do something about how we respond to that. So we're much better able to respond to stress when we're well rested. We can make better decisions at our job. We are more cognitive. We are more focused, and we can concentrate better, so we can get more things done in a day. We're just more productive at our jobs, which then leaves us leaving work feeling better, and maybe not have that pile of work on the desk the next day waiting for you, right? It also enables you to do workouts and still feel good about it, as opposed to being exhausted. It's good to feel that you've worked out for sure, but you don't want to feel like that, you have to drag your body into the gym or to the walk or to the hike or, to the spin class or whatever it is you're doing. And, you're just feeling exhausted before you go in, and you're, totally done when you come out, and then you go home and you have no energy for your family. So that's not what we want here. So hopefully these little graphics and some of that information is going to help you. So little tips on how can you get a good night's sleep within your circadian rhythm, getting those 90-minute sleep cycles happening. So once you've established that, okay, now I know they're 90 minutes. I know I need to wake up at, pick your time, whatever time you need to wake up at. You've done your little test, you know how many hours you need. So then back that up, and that's when you need to go to bed, or a little bit earlier if you take a little bit of time to fall asleep. And on that note, as you keep doing this, keep putting your body into that rhythm, keep doing these, being consistent with that, pretty soon you won't need extra time to get into bed to fall asleep. You'll get into bed, you'll get comfortable, you'll go right to sleep, because now your body's into that routine and it's working for you, and you're going to feel it. So that's amazing. So back up the time from when you need to get up to when you need to go to bed. If you're at that point where you're having trouble falling asleep now, your brain is really busy, having trouble sort of relaxing and calming down, here's a few tips what you can do. So shut down your screens. All of these things should be off about a half an hour. An hour is better, but at least a half an hour before you go to bed. No screens in bed. So no TVs, no iPads, no phones. We're not scrolling right before we go to bed. The blue light, all the stuff that's in our houses, in our electronics and TVs and computers, all of that, it's all blue light. Even though it doesn't look blue, maybe it's blue light, which tells your body it's time to wake up. So if you've bombarded your brain with all of these light and it's confused, it's thinking, well, the sun is still out, it's light out, I need to stay awake. Then it fights the going to sleep because you've told it it's time to stay awake. So dim the lights in the evening, shut off all your screen time, make it a nice, relaxing, quiet space. Maybe turn off the TV half an hour before and read a book. Maybe, listen to some music, have a bath, do a little bit of stretching or something like that, something to calm you down. A lot of people maybe have a diffuser. They have, do some lavender, something that's really relaxing. Just make sure you get a good quality oil so you're not, breathing in some toxins. Things like that. Also make sure that you're having your room, your bedroom where you sleep, nice and dark. So get the blackout blinds, the blackout curtains. Make sure that if you have to use your phone for an alarm clock, put it face down so you're not seeing that light. Okay, so it's going to go face down. And then anything else that has lights, you're going to unplug it, shut it off. You shouldn't have all of these lights and electronics in your bedroom. It just interferes with the relaxation and going to sleep. Try and also keep your bedroom a little bit cooler than the rest of the house. A couple degrees cooler is good because our body naturally cools down as we go to sleep. So if you're coming into that environment and your body feels that, it's like a trigger, right? It helps to do that. Some people like to have a really warm shower before they go to bed. Some people have the warm shower and then the cold right away. And so you're going to find what works for you. And then the last thing, and this is a very, it's different. So for some people, it doesn't make any difference at all. For some people, it makes a huge difference. If you're finding you're trying all of these things and you're still having trouble falling asleep, you're still, you still think there's something wrong why you can't get to sleep properly, check and see where the electrical boxes are on the outside of your house, where if the head of your bed is on a wall where there's an electrical junction box going through, a lot of times that electricity, although we don't really hear it, it's affecting the energy that's in our body, and it's disrupting your thoughts and the energy process that's helping you go to sleep. So it's not allowing you to calm right down and go to sleep. So those are my tips on how to get a good night's sleep. And when you put all of those lined up together, then you're going to have less effect the next time we do a time change. Okay, so getting your body into that nice rhythm, putting all of those things in place to help your body relax and calm down and get a good night's sleep, finding out your sleep number, how many hours it is for you, and then backing that up so you know what time to go to bed, making sure your room is dark, a little bit cooler, and all of that, and being consistent. So trying to go to bed at the same time every night and waking up at the same time in the morning, even on the weekends, because you'll find that you're just feeling that much better. Your body's, as I said, loves those rhythms. And then the next time there's a time change, or when you travel into a different time zone, you are less likely to feel the impact of that. It's going to be a much smaller adjustment period for you to get back on track with your sleep. So hopefully that helped everybody today. Drop your comments below. Thanks for watching, and look forward to seeing you next week. See you guys.